So we're going to be starting in a couple minutes. If you're just joining me, welcome. My name is John. This is Power Hour. So Power Hour is a 60-minute vinyasa yoga practice, which means we're going to be flowing, moving with breath. We're going to be focusing on hip openers today. I really like hip openers. And within the hip openers, we've got some dynamic poses that will be put into our flow. Here's what you're going to need for your practice today. Of course, your yoga mat. Get some bottled water, and feel free to just take a break anytime you need to or want to during the practice. Take a sit, watch, rest, get some water anytime in the practice. Just a reminder that it's your practice. Alrighty, and you may want to have a couple of yoga blocks. That's about all that we'll need for our practice today. These are just some yoga blocks that I have. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can grab something that's maybe similar to yoga blocks. That could be just a couple of, hardback books, or even some pillows, anything like that. Now, you don't necessarily need them, they just might come in handy. That's about it for our practice today, as far as props. But if you'd like to use props like straps or blankets or other pillows and things like that, be sure to grab those. Alrighty, it is time to begin. So I invite you to stand near the top of your mat. I'm going to face you for this first part, but I'll be turning sideways as well. So standing in mountain pose with your feet about hip distance apart and your toes pointing forward, just like this. This will just create a nice alignment from the waistline down. Here you want to feel this good connection to the ground, feet planted firmly into the mat. You can stay just like this, or if you need to adjust this pose, here's what you can do. Maybe just step the feet out a little wider and even turn your feet out just a little bit. This might feel a bit more comfortable for your joints, like your ankles and your knees and your hips. Just be sure that you feel balanced on 2 feet, that you're not shifting your weight to one side, but you feel pretty centered here. Good. And now from the waistline up, nice and tall, lengthen spine. Even just roll your shoulders back and let your arms come down by your side, just relaxing down by your side naturally. Nice long neck, and you have your gaze forward. Now you can keep your eyes open for this first portion of our practice, or feel free to close your eyes or just soften your eyes as we begin. We like to stand tall in stillness and just pay attention to breath. So you might start with a few deep breaths in and out. You can breathe in through your nose. You can even exhale through your nose or through your mouth. If you exhale through your mouth, you might exhale with a nice sigh. And just continue to feel your body relax. So just continue maybe a couple more deep breaths like that. And then just settle into subtle, soft breathing. A way to tune in, preparing for your moving practice. Slow, steady breaths. Very nice. I'm just going to add a little bit more sensation and awareness while we stand here in mountain pose. Now, as you breathe in, you may want to feel a lifting and lengthening of your spine, so you want to feel tall and even light. Breath is rising here to fill up your lungs. Then as you exhale, you want to connect to your center, maybe drawing your navel in towards your spine with the light contraction of your abdominal muscles. We call that the abdominal lock. So again, an inhale, feel the lifting and lengthening of your spine, breath rising to fill up your lungs. Exhaling, connecting to center, navel to spine, light contractions of your muscles. And just continue with this intentional breathing. That exhale is a nice way to gain support and strength. It'll help with balance and stability in your body. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths in and out. Prepare your body to move. When you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Reach up nice and high, big stretch. Exhale, let's fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to, making your way down towards your toes. You don't have to touch your toes. Maybe your hands land at your shins, which is fine. Then inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or your thighs and extend your spine. Nice long flat back. Exhale, fold again back down towards your toes. Let's just hold here. Just notice the sensations in your body. If you do want to touch the ground, just bend your knees a little bit more. Let your back round. Even loosen up your head, neck, and shoulders. What you can do here is maybe create big circles with your shoulders. Shake them out a little bit. Big circles forward and backward, and even kind of stirring your arms like this. And then nod yes, shake your head no. So you can just loosen up your neck. Let's do one more halfway lift. You're going to inhale, slide your hands back up to your knees or thighs, extending your spine right here. Exhale, fold, right back down we go. From here, shift your weight back towards your heels, bend your knees. Feel like you're sitting down into a low chair. Look forward. Extend your arms out to the side, then stand up all the way. Inhale, reach up into the air, big stretch. Then exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Hold for a moment, take a breath or two. Let's do that same sequence one more time. That's our half salute to the sun. Here we go. Inhale, extend your arms up. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, fold forward, hinging at the hips, making your way down towards toes. Inhale, slide your hands up to knees or thighs, extending your spine. Exhale, fold again, back down we go, standing forward, fold. Shifting weight back towards heels, bend your knees, look forward, extend your arms out to the side. Inhale, standing up tall, reach even higher as you're able. Exhale, palms together and down to your heart. Excellent. So that's just a nice warm up or beginning to warm up the body, our half salute. Take a couple breaths here, returning to this nice connection to your body and your breath. And we'll continue with a sun salutation starting with series A. When you're ready, inhale, again, extend your arms into the sky. Exhale, let's fold forward, hinging at the hips, soft knees, making your way down. Inhale, rise up halfway, fully extended spine. On this exhale, bend your knees enough, rounding your back so you can bring your palms to the ground, so you can walk or step or even hop both feet back into plank pose. In plank, take a breath in. This exhale, you're just going to bend your knees a little, send your hips up into the air, moving into downward facing dog. I just call this a shortcut to down dog. You can do this anytime in your practice. You might want to adjust your feet by taking a tiny step forward if you need to. Adjust your hands. A suggestion here is maybe spread out your fingers. So give you a nice wide base. A few more breaths. If you like, you can even pedal the feet if you want. You can exhale as you press one heel down as the other heel lifts. Inhale in between. And exhale and press the other heel down. That nice lengthening sensation in your calf muscles. Let the knees bend. You might even feel a little shift of your hips side to side. And again, we're working on our hips today. All right, come back to neutral, holding in stillness in down dog. Take a nice full breath in. And exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, extending your spine. Feel like you're going forward. Exhale, back down towards toes. Weights in the heels, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come all the way back up, reach high. Exhale, hands down to your heart. Okay, we're going to move right away to series B. Here we go. Inhale, extend your arms into the sky. This exhale, take chair pose, Utkatasana. Right there, we'll breathe in, extending out through the arms. Exhale, dive forward towards toes, forward fold. Inhale, rising up just halfway. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the ground, walk, step, or hop both feet back, plank pose. Breathe in. The exhale, you can move right into down dog or finish your push-up. Bend your elbows, squeeze them in towards your ribs as you lower your body down. Inhale, upward facing dog, lifting up through the chest. Straight arms. Exhale, tuck your toes, lifting hips up into the air. Downward facing dog. Settle in. Then continue with lunges. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Reach back nice and long. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. We'll turn left heel to the floor behind you, back here. Inhale, float both arms straight up into the air, facing forward for warrior one. Exhale, we'll fold again. Bring your hands back down to the ground. Step back. With the right foot, plank pose. Take the shortcut or continue coming down, finishing your push-up, chaturanga. Inhale, create your back bend, long legs, pointed toes behind you, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Settle in, then continue. Inhale, extending left leg up into the air, reaching long behind you. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the ground, shifting the weight back. Inhale, extending arms forward, then up into the air, warrior one. Exhale, folding, bring hands back down to the ground. Let's step back into plank pose, completing your series. We'll just meet up together in downward facing dog. Hold for a moment in down dog. We're going to make our way down to the ground. You can hop forward, cross your legs and take a seat, or just kneel down like this. Maybe sitting back into hero and then just sitting down. Bring the legs around to the front. I'm just going to adjust my mat here. Find a seat in the center of your mat. Then roll down onto your back. Just going to move into bridge pose. So we're going to lie down with the knees bent, feet flat on the ground. Hold here for a couple breaths and just let everything relax. Just melt into the ground here. Take a few deep breaths. Getting ready for our bridge pose, our minor back bend. When you're ready, take a nice full breath in to fill up your lungs. Exhale, empty your belly, then peel yourself up off the ground, just your hips lifting up into the air. If you need to, make any adjustments with your feet. I like to take my feet a little wider on the mat. That way I have a little bit more space in my hips and back, so I can lift up a little higher. Also feels better on my knees. Now with the upper body, just to get that rounded openness in the heart space, you might want to rock your upper body left and right a little bit, getting your shoulders underneath you, squeezing your shoulder blades together. That'll help expand and open up through the chest. To help stabilize the upper body, maybe bend your elbows at 90 degrees. Press both arms down into the ground so you feel that stable upper body. You might even find that you can lift a little higher. You're looking straight up, breathing in and out, feet rooting into the earth as well as your elbows. Breathing deeply. Feel all this good energy stimulating the entire body. 2 more breaths. All right, to come out of the pose, you're just going to wiggle your toes forward a little bit. Extend your arms straight up into the air. That should give you plenty of space in your back body so you can roll back down to the ground safely. Now here, just go ahead and bring both knees to chest. Stay here for a second because you're just going to bring your feet back down to the ground. Let everything relax. We're going to do another pose down here. We're going to do eye of the needle pose. So here you're going to take your left leg, okay, you're going to cross left ankle over right knee. Your left knee is just going to point out to the left side of the room, so just crossing the leg. And even flex this left foot, okay? Now just check in with your hips. This is a hip opener, but if you're not really feeling too much, then you may want to add on. And here's the additional piece. Just lift the right foot off the ground and feel both legs come closer toward your chest. This should add sensation in the left hip and glute. Then your left arm will thread the needle, that's why we call it eye of the needle, and you're going to hold on either to your right shin or right hamstring. So you can just kind of hold the legs in place. Flex both feet just to keep the legs activated. And take several breaths. Noticing the sensations in the body. Now for me, I really feel this in my left leg, okay, more in the outer hip, lower glute area. For me right now, that's a bit tight, and I can feel this nice stretch. So notice where you feel it in your body. I'm not going to be here too long. About 3 more breaths. Now remember this cross-legged position because we're going to be using it in several poses. All right, to release, okay, let's go ahead and set that right foot down. Let's uncross the leg, plant both feet into the ground. Just come back to this nice neutral position. Take a breath or two, and we'll get set up for the other side. Whenever you're ready, we're going to cross right ankle over left thigh. Flex the right foot. Right knee is pointing off to the right side of the room. Check in. Maybe this is enough of sensation in the legs. You don't have to lift the left foot unless you'd like to. If you are, just go ahead and lift the foot. Let's thread the needle. Take the right arm threaded through that little space. Hold on by clasping your fingers around the left shin or left hamstring. Find the place that feels just right for you. Take deep breaths. Remember to flex both feet just to keep the legs active here, as well as your active breathing. Again, remember this pose, one for the cross-legged portion of this, but also we're going to be doing pigeon pose later, and it has some similarities to this position. However, pigeon pose can potentially have some strain to your knee or ankle or hips. And so if that's the case for you, then you may want to come back to this pose. Okay, so remember, eye of the needle pose. Okay, or sometimes we call it reclining pigeon. Okay, 2 more breaths here. And after the second breath, we'll bring that left foot back down to the floor. Let's uncross the leg. Okay, hold for a moment. Everything coming back to neutral. And whenever you're ready, we'll bring both knees to chest. Carefully start rocking forward and back. Breathing in and out. Generating some good energy with a good exhale. You want to rock your way up to seated. You can come right into boat pose or kind of step into the posture. Meaning, let's just set it all up. Heels can be on the floor, feet flexed, knees bent, holding onto the backs of the legs just to allow yourself to sit up nice and tall. Just kind of lift yourself up. That's a nice inhale, getting tall in your seat. Exhale, engaging your belly and leaning back, keeping that straight line through the spine. You can stay just like this, or if you continue to lean back, feet will become light and they can float right up off the ground. Maybe your shins can come parallel to the floor. You can maintain a hold of the legs, or if you're able and found balance and strength, you can release the legs like this. Keep the chin lifted a little bit here too, so the neck stays long. That will also allow you to have good breathing, nice spacious breathing. Okay, let's move. You're going to breathe in. Exhale, cross legs. If you can, hands out in front onto your mat. Hop or step back plank pose. Hold. Let's take a shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees a little. Send your hips into the air. Adjust the hands and feet if need be. Let's continue with our lunges. Inhale, extend right leg up. Straight line at first. Then we're going to bend the right knee. Bring your heel down towards backside. Lift that right knee straight up towards the ceiling just a little bit. It creates a hip opener right there. Inhale. And as you exhale, unwind it and step through. Right foot to the top of the mat, left heel to the ground. Find this good connection to the ground. Inhale, float both arms up into the air, Warrior 1. And exhale, let's turn sideways here, opening to Warrior 2. Nice extension out through the arms. I like to take a little bit more distance between the feet by taking the feet out a little bit and lunging a little deeper. This too is a hip opener, so just opening up in this right inner thigh. The left leg stays straight, arms out. There you go. You can even take your gaze forward out over your right hand if you'd like. Couple more breaths here. And then we'll take this to side angle. So you're going to reach forward like you're going to reach out to grab something. Rotate your arms. Bring your right arm down. Left arm extends up into the air. And just hold open like this. Now this right hand can stay where it is on your thigh, or you can get lower by touching the ground with this right hand, or use that stack of blocks or books, whatever you have. Let's breathe in. And exhale, we'll turn the body towards the floor, carefully bend. Bring your hands down to the ground, step back, plank pose. Let's take another shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air. Settle in. Other side, same thing. Inhale, extend left leg up. Straight line at first, then bend the knee. Bring your heel towards backside. Lift the knee straight up as you can. That creates a bit of a hip opener, so the knee kind of points out to the left side. Inhale again right here. As you exhale, unwind it. Step through, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the ground, planted firmly and balanced. Inhale, float both arms up, Warrior 1. Exhale, opening, Warrior 2. Same thing, adjustments of the feet, lunging deeply, arms extended, parallel to the ground. Maybe your focus forward out over your left hand. Let's hold for several breaths so we can get that nice hip opening in the left inner thigh. Then side angle, reaching forward to angle the upper half of the body. Rotate the arms. Go as low as you like or stay up as high as you need. Good extension here though with both arms. Reach down, reach up. It creates a nice opening through the front body. Let's breathe in right here. Exhale, we'll turn so we can bring both hands down to the ground. Step back into plank pose. You can take that same shortcut or finish the sequence with Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to your back bend. It could be cobra or upward facing dog. Heart is forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hips into the sky. Breathe in, fill up your lungs. As you exhale, engage your belly, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale, extend through the spine. Exhale, fold. Plant the feet firmly into the ground, soft knees. Inhale, engaging so you can stand up nice and tall. Reach up into the air. Exhale, hands down to your heart. Excellent. Take a breath. Good. You can go ahead and just bring your arms down by your side. Just relax. You can even get a sip of water if you'd like. We're going to move into a balancing pose. We're going to move into tree pose. I like tree pose mainly for two reasons. Tree pose, one, it's a balance, and two, it's a hip opener. Okay? So find mountain pose. I'm going to try to mirror you here. So we're going to shift the weight over into right foot. Plant the right foot firmly into the ground. As you inhale, get nice and tall. Lengthen spine. Exhale, draw belly in to engage here. Then float left foot up, bending the knee. Flex the foot to keep it active. Swing the knee out to the side. That's the hip opener. Place the foot on the inside of your standing leg. There's our balance. Let's inhale, extend the arms up into the air. Exhale, draw belly in. Engage, hold. The more that you reach up, the more lifting the torso creates, okay, more lifting sensation, which also opens the hips, which may allow your left knee to actually point a little bit more towards the left side of the room. Keep your arms extended. We'll swing left knee forward, lift your knee with the flexed foot, plant the foot into the ground, and just bring your arms back down by your side, returning to mountain pose. You can even shake this out. A little roll of the shoulders is always nice, especially after having them up in the air like that. Mountain pose. Ready for tree on the other side. Shifting weight over now into left foot planted firmly. Inhale, lengthen spine, get tall. Exhale, engage belly. Float right foot up when you're ready. Flex the foot, leg is strong. Maybe your thigh comes to parallel to the ground. Knee swings out. Place foot on the inside of the standing leg right there. Then our inhale, reaching up. Feel that lifting sensation. So your torso lifts, creating more space in the hips. There's your hip opener. Just notice if your right knee is able, perhaps, to point a little bit more towards the right side of the room. Take a couple of breaths. With balance, especially a tree pose like this, find something to look at or stare at out in front of you that's not moving, something that's not moving, or even down on the floor. Keep your arms in the air. We'll swing this right knee forward now, lifting the knee with the flexed foot. Plant the foot into the mat. Arms can come back down by your side, completing the series. Roll your shoulders. Very nice. All right, let's go through another flow. Let's just keep the body moving and warmed up. Inhale, extend your arms into the sky. Let's take chair pose, Utkatasana, sitting back and down. Once you're in the seat, inhale, reaching out. Exhale, dive forward. Forward fold. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to the mat. Walk or step back, plank pose. Come down if you'd like. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Adjusting quickly, finding your pose, then inhale. Extend right leg up. Okay, bend the knee, heel down, lifting the knee, a little hip opener. As we exhale it now, unwind it, step through. Right foot to the top, left heel plants down behind you. Inhale, float your way up, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Okay, hold for a moment, settle in. I'm just going to add one little thing. We're going to reverse the warrior. Take the right hand up into the air, reach for the sky just to get a lengthening through the right side of the body. Be sure you're still lunging, okay? Because sometimes when we lift up, we actually start straightening the leg. So make sure you're lunging there. Right there. and then a bit of a windmill to side angle. So right hand now comes down, left hand up. Okay, follow me, pay attention. We're gonna breathe in. Exhale, turn to bring both hands to the floor on the inside of the right foot. Lift up onto your tiptoes behind you. Just stay here for a moment. Okay, we're not gonna do anything really. Just keep the hands where they are. Now, if your right foot, or with your right foot, just kind of heel toe it out to the edge of the mat, or even slightly off the mat. Okay, and even step this right hand over towards right foot. Okay, just a kind of a centering of your body in this position. That's all we're doing. Okay, now push into the ground with the hands, even lift your hips a little bit so you can slide the right foot back into plank pose. And then finish, come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's do the exact same thing other side. Inhale, extend left leg up. Bend and twist. Lifting the knee will create the hip opener. Exhale to unwind it. Left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel plants behind you. Be sure you're firmly connected to the ground. Inhale, float your arms up into the air. First warrior. Exhale, opening to your second warrior. Settle in. Then our reversed warrior. Left hand reaching up. Be sure you're still lunging through the left leg here, bending the knee. Reach up high to get the side body stretch. The right hand can just kind of rest lightly on the back leg. Then windmill the arms into side angle. So left arm comes down, right hand reaching into the air. Okay, we're going to do that same lunge with the adjustment of the foot and hand. Inhale, expand. Exhale, turn. Place both hands on the floor on the inside of the left foot. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. Just notice you're probably a bit more towards the right edge of your mat. We want to get a little bit more centered. So we're just going to heel toe the left foot towards the left edge, even slightly off the mat. Reposition your left hand so it's right next to the left foot. And this kind of centers you a little bit more on the mat. And this is what we want. Press firmly into the ground with the hands. Even lift your hips a little bit so we can actually slide or step the left foot back into plank pose. Come down, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing. Hold for a moment, and then we're going to take a break. Come down to your knees. You can just take a comfortable seat, okay? Get some water. Let me show you what's happening with that lunging of the body. Alrighty? So here's my warrior two. Let me see if I can do it this way. So I think you can see this. So here's warrior two. Here's side angle. I brought both hands down to the inside of the left foot and lifted the right foot. I'm more over towards the right edge of my mat. So I'm moving my left foot to the edge. Hopefully you can see that. And even slightly off the mat, just a little bit. And I reposition this left hand so it's next to the left foot. So I'm a little bit more balanced and even on my mat. What's going to happen here is I'm going to shift my body forward just a tiny bit. Start bending the elbows like I'm doing chaturanga, but this left foot, I'm still going to keep scooting it off to the side and like a kickstand on a bicycle, kicking it up like this. Okay, let me turn this way. Maybe you can see. I'm going to do it with my right foot. See if you can see this here. So I scooted forward, and with my right knee still very bent, just kicking it off to the side. And you can see I'm bending the elbow so this leg is resting on my tricep. So flex this foot, and it creates a little kickstand. And that's what we want to do there. Let me show you how we're going to proceed out of that pose. So doing my left leg again. Okay. Shifting forward, bending elbows, left foot kicks out to the side, lowering a little bit, like I'm doing chaturanga, but then extending that leg back, and then finishing the push-up into chaturanga. So some upper body strength for sure, okay, in that transition. But doing that little position, we're going to call it stick pose, stick. Okay, it's a modified version of the posture, but it does open up the inner thigh. Okay. All right, get one more sip of water. I'm adjusting my mat. Let's try those. We're going to go back to downward facing dog. Join me here. Let's inhale, extend right leg up, bend and twist. Unwind as you exhale, step through. Right foot to the top, left heel plants behind you. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Reverse your warrior, right hand up as you still lunge through the right knee. Side angle, right hand down, left hand up. Okay, inhale, extend the arms top to bottom. Exhale, turn both hands on the ground on the inside of right foot. Rise up on tiptoes behind you. Okay, we're shifting right foot and right hand closer to the right edge of the mat. So we're a little bit more centered. Shift forward slightly. Start bending the elbows like you're doing chaturanga. Start stepping the right foot off to the right side. Keep the knee bent at 90 degrees. Kick it out to the side, off the ground. So it rests, the leg inner thigh will rest on your bent right arm. Then take that whole leg back. You'll be in chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Downward facing dog. Okay, take a quick break. Let's just get off the hands. Did you do it? Okay, we're going to try the other side, and then we're going to move on. Just a little rest for the wrists there. That's a lot of upper body work. Now, one thing you'll want to do, I'll try to give the cue. Once you're in that stick pose, you want to lift your hips. Okay, it'll just take some of the pressure off. All right, back to down dog. Inhale, extend left leg up, bend, twist open. Exhale, unwind, step through, warrior one. Plant that back heel, rise up. Exhale, open, warrior two. Reverse your warrior, reaching left hand up. Side angle, left hand down, right hand up. Inhale, expand. Exhale, turn hands to the floor on the inside of left foot. Rise up on tiptoes behind you. Adjust left foot and left hand towards left edge of mat. Shift forward. Imagine you're doing chaturanga. Bend the elbows. Kickstand with that left leg. Lower down a little bit. This is where you want to lift the hips. Use your toes. That can help. Lift the hips. Then extend the left leg back behind you. Chaturanga. Finish the flow. Down dog. Okay, take a quick little break again. Even a little counter stretch for your wrists. Couple things you can do. Okay, you can bend the hands the other way. Even press gently into the ground or together. Alrighty? So we're going to do a pigeon pose. So here comes that pigeon pose I was talking about earlier. Remember, you don't have to do pigeon. You can always flip over onto your back and do the reclining version. Here's downward facing dog. Let's inhale, extend right leg up. Let's bend and twist again. But this exhale, we're going to unwind and bring right knee down to the floor, angled leg. Okay, we're going to pigeon. So angle the right leg. Use your left knee and toes to crawl the left leg back. So you're centering your body more toward your hips, taking some of the pressure off of your hands. Now you can stay up high like this, or maybe walk the hands forward, sending your heart forward. Maybe your elbows come down to the ground, and you'll be in a variation of pigeon pose. You really just want to pay attention to what feels right for your body. Be aware of the angled leg, how low you go. And remember, if this is a little bit too much pressure or sensation in the knee or hip or ankle even, or you have injury there, or it's just uncomfortable, flip over onto your back and do the reclining version. Okay, eye of the needle pose. This is great. So this is another one of those cross-legged positions, okay, because this front leg is obviously crossed in front of us. 2 more breaths. If you're low to the ground, carefully use your hands and just kind of lift yourself up. Even at an angle is fine like this. Sit over onto right side. Just sit. So we can bring this left leg around to the front like this. Keep the knees bent. Bring the soles of your feet together. Cobbler's pose. Now the legs or the knees here, don't have to touch the ground. We're not going to be here very long, but if you needed support, you can place blocks or pillows right there, okay? holding onto your ankles, your feet, your toes, or even your shins. Inhale to sit up tall. Exhale, hinge forward with a straight spine, or as straight as can be. So we can get a little bit more into the inner thighs again. Okay, just a couple of breaths. And we'll do that pigeon pose sequence on the other side. Nice lengthened spine here. 2 more breaths. Okay, then we're going to rise back up until you're nice and tall. Start bringing the knees together. I'm going to move my blocks out of the way. As the knees come together, lean back. Keep the spine nice and straight. Lifting feet if you're able, just moving right into boat pose. Lift up your spine, lengthening through the torso. Inhale. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front or even to the side so you can swing the legs back behind you or hop back. Plank, take a shortcut down dog. Other side pigeon. Inhale, extend left leg up. Bend, twist open. Exhale, left knee to the ground behind the left wrist with an angled leg. Set the right knee down, but use right knee and toes. Crawl the leg back, shifting the weight back more towards hips, getting some of the pressure off of the hands. If you need a little extra support, remember this left hip does not have to touch the ground. Maybe you've got a little pillow right here. Tuck it underneath you. It'll be some support and it keeps the hips aligned. You can stay up high with an angled upper body or step your hands forward and lower yourself down. Even imagine you're going forward. That will keep your spine and torso well lengthened. You even feel like you're reaching through your toes behind you. And just get into the posture. Check in. Notice if this feels fine. Stay here. Or if you need to or want to, flip over onto your back for the alternative. Feel these sensations in your body. This is a great place. Since we're holding in stillness in this pose, you want to focus on your breathing, but also be aware of the sensations that are arising in your body. Hopefully some nice stretching and releasing. Let's take 2 more breaths. We're going to take our time to rise back up onto the hands. I have that block there, so I'm going to move that block out of the way. And then sit off to the left side. Sit down so we can bring the right leg around to the front. So again, returning to cobbler's pose. Soles of the feet together. Hold on to the ankles or feet or toes. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, hinge at the hips just a bit. Just hold here a little longer, okay? And if you want, you can even lower your chin, even round your back a little bit. That might allow you to fold a little deeper if you want to. But the main focus here is inner thighs. How about 3 more breaths? And after that 3rd breath, we'll transition into boat once again. Okay, after your 3rd breath, let's re-extend the spine. Rise back up until you're nice and tall. Keep that good extension of the torso, then lean back. Bring the knees together until your feet can float into the air. Flexed feet, shins parallel to the ground. Hold on. This is a great way to help extend spine or just to be sure your spine is extended. Exhale here, engaging core body. Hold on to the legs or release the legs. Let's breathe in. We're going to move right away. Exhale, cross legs. Hands in front or to the side, getting the feet back behind you. Get that nice, strong, straight line. Just take a shortcut here to down dog. Bend your knees, hips into the air. Full breath in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop. Both feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, extending spine. Exhale, fold. With a slight bend in the knees. See if you can root or press feet firmly into the ground. As you roll up or hinge your way back up until you're nice and tall. Inhale, float both arms up into the air. Exhale, arms down by your side. Very nice. Good work. Okay, shake this out. All right, I have another balancing pose, and this is going to incorporate another cross-legged position. I just call it cross-legged chair pose, okay? Cross-legged chair pose. There is another name, but I think that's just a better description of what we're doing. I'm just going to adjust my mat. All right, so it's almost like setting up for tree pose. So just follow me. Alrighty, nice and tall mountain pose. You're going to start shifting your weight into your right foot, press firmly into the ground. Actually, put a little bend in the knees here too, okay? Now we're just going to float the left foot up, bend the knee, flex the foot, okay? Just like this, hold on. Now you're going to imagine you're kicking a soccer ball. Just kick the soccer ball right there. Keep that angled leg just like that. Bend the right knee more and just cross the ankle over thigh. Okay, this should look and feel familiar. Just bring your hands to your hips for now. All right, just like this. Keep this foot flexed, hands on hips. As we push the pelvis down with the hands, you're going to feel like you're extending up through the spine. Now with that energy, sitting back, I'm going to turn this way so you can see this. Okay, just sitting back and down into a chair. Upper body is angled in a straight line. Okay, it's like you're sitting in a chair with the leg crossed. That's why I call it cross-legged chair pose. Hands can stay on hips, but it's also a way to be aware if your hips are aligned. That's going to help you with balance in this pose. Then extend your arms out in front of you, either parallel to the floor or up at an angle like you do in chair pose. Parallel is fine. Now we're going to stand up, take the arms up into the air as you uncross the leg, lift the knee, flex foot, plant foot into the ground, arms back down by your side. Alrighty, so that's the little sequence there. So cross-legged chair pose, other side. Shifting weight now into left foot, press into the ground. Slight bend in knees. Let's float the right knee up. Lift the foot, flex the foot, kick the soccer ball. Cross ankle over thigh, little sit. Okay, a little seat so that you have that little platform for this ankle to rest on. Place hands on hips, be aware of the alignment here. Push pelvis down as you extend spine, and then maybe sit back and down into the chair, just like that. Okay. Go ahead and extend your arms. They can be straight out in front, parallel to the floor, which might help with balance, because the more you reach forward, the more you might be able to sit back. Okay, moving in opposite directions here. Make sure the right foot is flexed. We're going to stand up tall, reach into the air with both arms as you uncross the leg, lifting the knee, flexed foot, plant the foot into the ground, balanced, arms back down by your side. Very nice. Shake it out. All right, here is how we're going to get into the next pose. We're going to start with that position and then step back into a high lunge. So let's do those together. We'll just do this together. So come back up to mountain pose, arms down by your side. Let's start with cross-legged chair pose, and I'll break this down. We're going to start with the arms. Inhale, reach into the air. Exhale, bring the arms down, hands to hips. Put a little bend in the knees, slight bend as you start shifting weight into right foot. Make sure it's planted there, still tall in the torso. Exhale, core engaged, because we're going to float the left foot up. Kick the soccer ball, cross ankle over thigh. Okay, and then sit back into the imaginary chair. Right there. All right? Feel the hip opener. This should feel like the reclining pigeon pose or pigeon pose itself. Let's take the arms out front. Okay, we're going to stand up tall, arms up into the air, uncross the leg, lift the knee, flexed foot. We're still moving. Hang on tight. Bend the right knee, the leg you're standing on. Bend that knee a little bit. Hinge forward with the torso as you extend and lengthen the left leg back behind you, and then set the toes down behind you. So we're in a lunge, and you're going to end up in high lunge like this. Hold for a second. Okay, we're going to go back to standing, okay, with feet together. Hinge forward again. Shift weight into right foot. Step forward until you're in a regular chair pose. Stand up tall. Reach into the sky. Exhale, hands to hips. Let's just immediately go to the other side. Shift or slight bend in the knees. Shift weight into left foot. Planted strongly. Core engaged. Then lift right foot. Kick the soccer ball. Cross ankle over thigh. Take a seat. Hips back, heart forward, lengthen torso. It's okay if you lose your balance because we're obviously in a balancing pose. Extend your arms forward or up. Forward is fine for this. Stand up tall. Take the arms up into the air, uncrossing the leg. Lift the knee, flexed foot. Bend the left knee a little bit. Hinge forward as you extend the right leg back. We're moving in opposite directions. Hands go forward, right leg goes back. Set those toes down behind you. High lunge. Right there. Hold that for a moment. Then hinge forward again. Shifting weight into the left foot, step forward into a regular chair pose. Standing up tall. Reach high. Exhale, arms down by your side. Very nice. Okay, let's put a whole sequence together, okay? So we've got our cross-legged chair pose. It's going to step back into a high lunge. We're going to continue with some lunges there. Don't forget that stick pose that we're doing. Stick pose, pigeon pose, we're doing it all, okay? Get some water, adjust your mats, ready to go. Same opening, mountain pose. Take a breath. Start with your arms. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, arms down, hands to hips. Soft bend in the knees. Weights in the right foot. Exhale, core engagement, lift left foot. Kick the soccer ball, cross ankle over thigh. Take a seat into an imaginary chair pose. Extend arms forward. Sit deeply, get that stretch, feel that in the hips. Stand up tall, reach for the sky, uncross the leg, lift knee, flex foot. Bend the right knee slightly, hinge forward. As you reach out front, extend left leg back, set toes on the ground behind you, high lunge. Here, opening, warrior two. Reverse the warrior. We're reviewing or going through parts we've already done. Side angle, right hand down, left hand up. Inhale, expand. Exhale, turn, bring both hands to the floor on the inside of right foot. Rise up on tiptoes behind you. Okay, we need to move that right foot. Remember this? Out to the right side. Okay, stick. We're shifting forward, bending elbows like chaturanga. Keep moving right foot off to the right side until you can kick that kickstand up into the air. Angled leg. Lift hips. Stick. Take right leg back. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Bend and twist. Pigeon. Right knee to the floor, behind right wrist, angled leg. Use your left knee and toes, crawl back. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold forward. Take your time, adjust, use props as need be. Three more breaths here. After your third breath, take your time. You're going to rise back up partially. We're going to sit off to the right side. So you're going to bring left leg around to the front, cobbler's pose, another hip opener. Right here, we're going to inhale to sit up tall. Exhale, fold partially here as well. Keep nicely extended through the spine. Hips opening. By keeping the spine straight, it puts a little bit more sensation in the inner legs. Okay, rise back up, upper body, straight spine, lean back at an angle so you can move into boat. Bring knees together, lifting feet. Maybe free hands here if you're able, or hold onto the legs if you need to. Moving right away. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. Hop or step back, plank pose. Take a shortcut to down dog. Bend the knees, hips into the sky. With an exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold. We're going to inhale, reverse swan dive. Bring arms up into the air, moving to the other side. So exhale, hands to hips. Softness in the knees. Put weight into the left foot. Core engagement as you float right foot up. Flex the foot, bend the knee. Kick the soccer ball, cross ankle over thigh. Take a seat. Sit back with the hips, heart forward. Feel this in the hips, then extend your arms forward, perhaps just parallel to the ground. Even gaze forward. Okay, we're going to stand up tall, extending the arms straight up. Uncross the leg, lift the knee, flexed foot. Bend the left knee slightly. Hinge forward with the upper body, extending the right leg back, set the toes down. So we're in a high lunge position. Nice and tall here. Opening warrior 2. Settle in. Reverse your warrior, left hand up. Windmill the arms to side angle, left arm down, right hand up. Inhale to expand the chest. Exhale, turn, bring both hands to the floor on the inside of left foot. Rise up on tiptoes behind you. Let's adjust this left side. Move left foot and left hand off to the left. So we have some balance here. Shift forward slightly. Bend elbows like chaturanga. Start kicking the left leg out, lifting like a kickstand. Lift the hips. There's your stick. Take left leg back. Chaturanga. Finish it. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Pigeon, left side. Inhale, extend left leg up. Bend and twist. Exhale, left knee to the floor behind the left wrist, angled leg. Right knee comes down. Use right knee and toes. Crawl it back. Inhale to extend spine. Exhale, crawl forward. Hold for several breaths. It's a nice little resting spot here too. But we're still working those hips. Take your time so the body can do its work while you're holding the posture. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Take your time. After your 3rd breath, rise up partially. Sit off to left side. Bring this right leg around to the front so we can move into cobbler's pose. You may have to adjust your seat a little. Feet together, hold on to ankles or toes. Inhale, extended spine. Exhale, hinge. Remember, a nice straight spine puts more emphasis in the inner thighs. But if you want to go lower, you can always round your back, lower your chin. Hold for 3 more breaths. We're going to hold a little bit longer here. And we're going to make that same transition to boat. So you're going to rise back up, extended spine, then start that leaning back sensation. As you lean back, bring knees together as you're able, lifting feet, extending arms out in front. So we create this nice V shape in the body. The inhale keeps the torso long, exhale engages the center. Hold. Then just bring the heels down to the ground. That's it. Well done. Okay, we're going to lie down here. So just find the center of your mat. Go ahead and roll down onto your back. Hug the knees into chest. Some deep breaths here, even some movement. All right, now we're moving towards the closing portion of our practice. All the hard, engaging sections are complete. So I like to do some circles here just to massage the low back and hips. Even wiggle the toes or circle the ankles. And then from here, we're just going to move into a couple of hip openers. So more hip openers. Let's start with happy baby pose. So flex the feet, knees stay bent, but take the legs away from each other, out to the side, and then take the feet up. If you're able, grab hold of the bottoms of the feet here, or your ankles if you can't reach the feet. Press down gently so the knees feel like they're coming down towards the ground on either side of you. You can stay in stillness and take deep breaths as you're getting into the inner legs, where the legs connect to the pelvis, or you might even add a gentle rocking left and right. Very gentle here. Make sure you're breathing. Maybe 2 more breaths. Let's take another hip opener. Once again, bring the soles of the feet together and just set the feet onto the floor out in front. Just now a reclining cobbler's pose. A little bit more relaxed. Some deep breaths. The gravity just kind of brings the legs out and down naturally, getting that pull and stretch quality in the inner thighs. If you need to, you can always take blocks or pillows and tuck them underneath the knees so it doesn't feel like they're pulling out and down too hard. Three more breaths. You can stay here as long as you need to. Our next pose is a twist. So when you're ready, you can bring the knees together, hug the knees into your body once again. And we'll start by taking the knees over to the left side, down towards the ground as you extend your right arm off to the right side. And it creates a natural twist in the spine. Notice where you feel this. Okay, it might be low back area, hips. Deep breaths. 3 deep breaths. And then after that third breath, we'll come back up to center. Just pause in center so you can come back to neutral through your spine. And then off to the other side. So knees to the right, extend left arm to the left, settle in, deep breaths. Three more breaths. After that third breath, just return to center. Hold here for a moment. And then we're moving right into Shavasana, our ending practice or ending pose here. So extend the legs out front. Your arms can just rest down by your side. Just settle into the ground. Let the ground support you. Now if you need extra support, maybe a blanket underneath your head or a rolled up blanket underneath bent knees. Now sometimes lying flat on your back isn't the most comfortable thing to do. So if it feels better for you today to lie on your side or even come up to seated, please feel free. Just find a comfortable position where you can hold in stillness for a couple of minutes and just focus on your breath. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana or your restorative position for as long as you need to. Just continue to feel relaxation move through your entire body, including your mind. Slow, steady breaths. Even as I conclude the class, you're welcome to stay just like this. And when it is time to move, take your time to even start with 5 slow, deep breaths. After your 5th breath, moving in slow motion, just carefully roll onto either side of your body into a nurturing pose. You might pause there. Or you might still be in Shavasana, that's perfect. And then carefully use your hands and a breath to rise up to seated. Come to a comfortable seated position, maybe with legs crossed, nicely extended spine. Arms can just relax down by your side. Maybe your hands just resting on your knees or your lap, or you can bring hands to heart center. Take a breath. And one more movement to end our practice. We'll inhale, extend arms up into the air. Nice stretch. Exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Once your hands are at heart center, take another breath in and out and hold in stillness. And as we come to the close of this portion of our journey together, we bow saying Namaste.